What's going on, YouTube? Yet another Sunday, the Artist Live Chat for independent musicians and artists who are looking to expand their music career and take it to the next level. You know what I mean? We always log on YouTube first because we have to get the sound situated. This is my main source of sound with my microphone being hooked up to the live chat. You know what I mean? I use this for later audios when I cut them up and just go live on YouTube first. And we'll be live, and the live chat will start in about 2 minutes. Actually, 1 minute. But feel free to invite any of your artist friends who may be in the same group as you, same label or same situation. You know what I mean? It's free game. Get it while it's free, or pay the fee later. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and start. Yeah, let's go ahead and start. Start live video. Start live video. Yeah, man. My check. Dream Greedy, what's good with you, man? So, what's today's topic, man? It's so silly, but you know, it's a thing. It's a thing, and it's always been a thing. This ain't nothing new. You know what I mean? This isn't anything new, and I feel like a lot of artists need to hear this before you waste any more money on your music career doing the wrong thing. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody needs to hear this before you waste any more money on your music career doing things that really don't matter, won't do you any good a few years from now. Because we this is a marathon. It's a marathon, and we ain't we ain't in this for the short haul. You know what I mean? This ain't a race. It's not a race to try to get popular, and this is not a race to try and do a style better than anybody else. You know what I mean? So with that being said, the world does not need another fill the artist name in. You know what I mean? And if you all paid attention to the description, I want you to name an artist that everybody's trying to sound like right now. You know what I mean? I want you to name an artist that everybody's trying to sound like. And you know, we're just gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. Oh, Instagram didn't go live. Instagram says it's had it. Instagram ain't doing it today. Instagram said, nah, man. Let's see if we can get Instagram live right quick. You know what I mean? I definitely want to make sure that Instagram is up. We got a few people who tune in on there as well. But the world is not looking for another artist that sounds like an artist that's already popular. You know what I mean? One of the biggest issues that I see in many people who send music, you know, I get tons of music all week, all month. I get tons of music, and tons of artists are always sending me their content. And on top of that, I have a studio that artists come to every day. You know what I mean? I'm not saying this for everybody, but there are a few people who definitely need to hear this. A few people who definitely need to understand that you're wasting your money if you're not developing your own thing. You know what I mean? If you're not developing your own thing. I know you have your role models and your artists that you look up to. That don't mean you got to sound like them. You know what I mean? That don't mean you got to sound like them. And it definitely doesn't mean that sounding like them is going to put you any closer to their situation. You know what I mean? This is a real serious topic. It's a serious topic, and it's something that no matter how far along the culture comes, people just don't realize. You still got to have your own identity out here. You know what I mean? You still got to have your own identity, and you don't want to be considered a clone of whoever's hot right now. You know what I mean? You ever heard of, if you go online right now, if you type in independent rap music, guaranteed you will hear so many artists, and you can automatically off rip tell who they're trying to mimic or who they're trying to copy. You know what I mean? My question to anybody who's doing that, because you know, there may be people doing that I don't know about. My question to you guys, what are you getting out of that? You know what I mean? What do you really think you're going to accomplish? And what do you really think is going to happen to your career 5 years from now the music industry is getting shorter and shorter with attention span. People are listening to artists today and they're on to something different tomorrow, quicker than ever. It's so fast. So what do you think you're going to get out of mimicking a person's craft or a person's style? And when that artist isn't relevant anymore, they've already secured their fan base, so they're not even on a mainstream level anymore. What do you think you're going to get out of it when you're still sounding like them and they're on to something different? What are you going to get out of that? What can that really do for your career? What if you have a mixed influence where you can't even tell who the rappers are? Well, that's what all craft is. To be honest with you, there's nothing new under the sun. You feel what I'm saying? There's nothing new under the sun. So you'll never have a style that nobody's ever heard before, but your cadence, your delivery, even your voice style. I've seen artists try to mimic all of these aspects of another artist to the point where you can't tell the difference. It's almost as if they enjoy being told that they sound like somebody, or they sound just like, oh, I thought this was such and such. It's almost as if they enjoy when people tell them that. That's the worst thing that anybody can ever tell you. As far as you taking your career serious, that's the worst thing that anybody can ever tell you as an artist. You know what I mean? You are a brand. You're a brand, and you do not want to be a great value version of any artist that's out there. Hey, TK, I'm all for it, bro. I'm with you. You know what I mean? I'm with you. I mean, I can't, the industry can't be your friend. It can't be your friend, so I can't say I'm with you 100%, but I understand where you're coming from. But let's be serious. You know what I mean? My flow authentic and difficult to imitate. See, that's where you win. That's where you win. You know what I mean? That's where you win. We're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about how to prosper with a unique style and how that actually puts you ahead of the curve. You know what I mean? Future and Lil Baby. Yeah, definitely. I can attest to that. Dream Greedy, that's so true. That's absolutely true. It's true about sounding like another artist. You just don't get far, bro. You just don't get far. And in the long run, those artists are, even if they're not long-term or longevity, even if they don't have a certain amount of longevity, they still made their money off of their style as soon as they got hot. You feel what I'm saying? They still made their money from their style as soon as they got hot. So they got more out of doing it than you did at the point. You feel me? It's one thing when you create a style and you stick with it throughout your entire career. Nobody can take that from you. Nobody can take it from you, and nobody, even whether people say it's whack or whatever you want to call it, there are people who are going to love it, and they're going to know that it came from you. They're going to know that it was your style. He was rapping like that since before his deal. He was rapping like that before he got on. Before he got his buzz, he always sounded like that. You know what I mean? He always sounded like that. But when you sounded like another artist, I haven't seen an artist who does that. I've never heard them with anything original. You know what I mean? They're always jumping from the next to the next to the next. Whatever's hot, they're always jumping on it to the point where they don't have their own identity. You know what I mean? To the point where they don't have their own identity. In a sense, it's like clout chasing. You know what I mean? In a sense, it's like clout chasing with very little result. It's clout chasing with very little result. You know what I mean? As an artist, that's what you do. You know what I mean? It's what you do. You put the brush to the board and you paint what's on your mind. You come up with things that nobody else is doing. You know what I mean? You come up with unique styles so people can differentiate your music from other people's music. You know what I mean? If that was the case, there would be only one artist in the world trying to do everything, or there will only be one artist in the world. You know what I mean? Or if that were the case, you would catch more and more artists getting successful who sound exactly the same. Now, there have been a few cases, but even in those cases, people have considered the artists who came up sounding like another artist, they considered them knockoff, or their career just wasn't as potent. You know what I mean? their career just wasn't as potent as the artists who originally came up with the style. So you got to think about these kind of things. If you, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have studio sessions booked for this coming week, or you have songs that you're in the process of writing. Keep in mind, pay attention to what you're really doing. Don't waste your money and don't waste your time thinking that you're going to be successful by sounding like another artist completely. You know what I mean? And you know when you're doing it. You got to know. You know when you're doing it. If everybody else can pick it out, then you know when you're doing it. Stop thinking that these artists, and here's what I think for the most part. Here's what I think for the most part. I think that most people, or the artists who do that, I think that they have some kind of fantasy that the artist that they're trying to mimic is going to come and sign them or shout them out somehow, some way, or you know what I mean? I feel like that's what most people think. If I rap like Lil Baby, maybe one day I actually meet Lil Baby. If I rap like Da Baby, one day I'll meet Da Baby. You feel what I'm saying? And he might sign me, and he won't have any issue with it, or he won't look at me as competition, or he, you know what I mean, trying to knock him off. It's not gonna work like that, bro. It's not gonna work like that. Even if it did, you're still not gonna be you're gonna be a carbon copy. You're gonna be a carbon copy, and we know how people treat great value products. You know what I mean? We know. I'm not saying that great value products are worse in quality all the time. I'm not saying that, but 9 times out of 10, if you had the option to buy a regular product, an official brand, or a great value, you had the money to do so, what you gonna buy? You know what I mean? What are you gonna buy into? You're definitely not gonna get the great value brand if you have the money to afford the quality, the high quality stuff. You know what I mean? It's like rapper jewelry, bro. It's like rapper jewelry. Why are you walking around with, you're not gonna walk around with plated gold if you have the money to get real gold. You know what I mean? That's making everything sound the same. If I rap, someone said I sound like another rapper, I would be offended, man. Back to right. And you know, that's honest though. That's honest. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be offended at that. A lot of people will be offended, but here's what a lot of people wouldn't do, like you said, go back to the drawing board. You feel me? I'm glad I'm telling you guys this now, because what I would hate to happen is for you to have a body of work that's nothing original. You know what I mean? A body of work with nothing original in play. You feel me? It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. If you could, I would love for anybody to name one artist that came up and stayed up, that got up there and got stuck there, sounding like somebody else. They don't even make it out the gate. You know what I mean? Maybe from being viral, you could make it out the gate being viral, but once that viral buzz died down, you have no real fans, or you don't have anybody who's really even interested in your music. They only came to hear, does he really sound like such and such? Or does he really sound like the artist that I would prefer over him? Oh, no, he sounds like him a little bit. I'm going to go back over here, though. It's the weather's a little bit nicer over here. Take your time. Take your time with your career. Take your time with what you're doing. Take your time. I understand you want to be heard. You know what I mean? And I understand a lot of people may not have a lot of confidence in their own sounds. A lot of people may not have confidence in their own sounds. I'm trying to get to the comment section. Let me, there we go. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to get to the comment section right quick. There we go. It's not scrolling anymore. It's not scrolling. We had an update recently, so I guess that update is kind of fishy or whatnot. But please take heed of what I'm saying, if not anything else. Please take heed of this. You are building a body of work right now. You are building a body of work. That's what every artist is doing. Your main job is, or your only real job as an artist, besides your marketing, is to build your catalog. Your only real job is to build your catalog. And not only should you not rush it and make sure that your product is up to par, but you shouldn't make knockoff products. You know what I mean? Everybody knows that anybody who's not trying to make a quick hustle, or anybody who's looking to have longevity in this industry knows this simple fact about any business. You never plan to make a longevity business off of knockoff products. You know what I mean? You never plan on being a longevity enduring business with knockoff products. You feel me? Unless you Walmart. They tend to do it kind of well. I won't lie to you. They tend to do it kind of well. That's why I don't listen to other artists that much. It's true. It's true. You know what I mean? That's a thing. That's a thing. A lot of people don't even know that they're sounding like somebody. But let me ask you a serious question. Let me ask you a serious question. Can anybody remember what music used to sound like before the Migos? That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. We're in a new generation. You know what I mean? A lot of the young adults of this generation were born in 2000. You know what I mean? The year 2000. So while they were growing up, they weren't really on the kind of music we were on. All they know now is the Migos flow. All they know is the Migos flow. So it's kind of hard for people to remember, let alone even realize that there was a different style back then, or different styles. There wasn't really anybody rapping like anybody before that wave hit. It was all unique. It was so unique that you had so many different styles of music, but somewhere along the lines, it all just became a blurred line, and everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's just going with the flow, and everybody's afraid to try something different. You know what I mean? That's not to say that you don't have original music, but you're afraid to record it. You're afraid to record your own original style because you're afraid people won't listen to it as much as they would if you would rap like Migos, or if you would have rapped like whoever's hot right now. If you would have changed this bar or changed this verse to say something totally unique. Don't put yourself in a race. You know what I mean? Don't put yourself in a race. This is not a race, bro. This is not a race. It's not a race, and you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not applying your own unique craft. Be unique about it. Put out your own kind of music. Put out music that you feel confident about. You know what I mean? Be confident about your own original thing. We all know when it's not. You know what I mean? We all know when your music isn't as original as you think it is. You know what I mean? We all know when you're trying to sound like whoever's out there. Lil Wayne, Johnson Key, you're right. There was a time where every independent artist was trying to sound like Wayne. Honestly, I would say of all artists, he had the most lasting effect. With his punchlines, people are still doing that. Like even the new age, everybody's still doing that in their own way. Everybody's still doing that in their own way. You know what I mean? But to the point now where you can hardly tell artists apart. You can hardly tell artists apart. The only way that you be able to tell most artists apart by nowadays is their sound quality. The sound quality trash, so you know it's not a professional artist. You know what I mean? But once we get past the quality, come on, man. Come on, bro. It's so many different words, so many different cadences that have yet to be discovered. It's so many different things that you can do with your music that nobody else is doing. Explore those. Explore those. Try something different. Try something different. It's a reason why people just ain't rocking with your music the way that you want them to. It's a reason why you're not blowing up as quickly as you would like. It's a reason why people just don't pay that mind to you as an artist. You are generic. You know what I mean? You are generic. You generic and nobody wants to invest in it. You know what I mean? You are generic and nobody wants to invest their time into your music because they already know what time it is. They already know what time it is. They know that you're going to get on the track rapping like everybody else. Your beats even sound like everybody else's. That's where it starts at, to be honest with you. That's where it really starts at. Your beat selection is trash. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about these producers because I feel like that's all that they can on behalf of the trash beats that are out there. that are mimicking #1 hit records. You feel me? I'm speaking on behalf of beats that are out there that sound exactly like a mainstream artist's last single. Where you getting with that? Why are you so prone to making great value products that don't even sound as good? Why are you trying to make products that sound exactly like what's out here right now? You know what I mean? Why are you trying to make music that sounds exactly like what's out here right now with not even half of the quality? By the way, don't let me talk up a storm. You know what I mean? Don't let me talk up a storm. Excuse me. Don't let me talk up a storm. If you have questions that you want to ask, make sure you ask your questions and make sure you be honest with yourself. You know what I mean? I know a lot of you, if you are in that category of making music that sounds like other artists, maybe you need to ask a question like, how can I get out of that? How can I find my own original thing? You know what I mean? Maybe you need to do so. Maybe you need to ask those questions. You have to steal like an artist. You can't be a carbon copy, but take from different elements, different artists. All musicians steal. You don't have to rely on every. Yeah, and that's the thing. I learned this. This. Good artists copy, but great artists steal. And when you steal, are you gonna wear? Even if you steal something, are you gonna wear it in the same location that you stole it from? You know what I mean? If you steal something from someone, are you gonna be foolish enough to come back to their neighborhood and wear exactly what you stole from them? Are you gonna steal a jumpsuit and wear it to the mall the next day in the place right down the street from the place that you stole it from? Good artists copy, mediocre artists copy, great artists steal. If you steal, you get gone and you go and do something else with it. You know what I mean? If you steal something, you get ghosts and you do something else with it. So if you decide to take a cadence, make it your own, do something different with it. Don't do it exactly like the artist, bro. Don't do it exactly like the artist. You feel me? It's to the point where you can't tell who's who now. You can't tell who's who, or you can't tell what their intentions are. You feel me? Which is, they think they're going to get the same results. You're not getting the same results, man. You're not getting the same results. You're not getting the same. You're not about to get the same results. You don't even know how to market your music. So you wasting your time anyway. I put it like this. I feel like artists are lazy. I feel like most artists are lazy. You don't want to learn how to market. You don't want to learn how to promote. You don't want to write your own music. You don't want to figure out your own cadence. What do you want to do? What do you really want to do as an artist? What do you want to do? You just want the money. All you want is the money to start falling down. You know what I mean? You just want the money to start falling down and you want to automatically be straight. You want to automatically be straight. That's why most people become music artists anyway, right? No, I've never heard of anybody becoming a music artist. Well, I say never, but most artists, you didn't become an artist because you knew you were going to struggle. You didn't become an artist because you knew this would be hard. You didn't become a musician because you knew that there would be days where you would be up and down, more downs than ups. You became an artist because you wanted to get paid. You know what I mean? You became an artist because you wanted to get paid, but you don't even want to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? You'll take somebody else's style, you take somebody else's cadence, call it your own, and really be out here walking around like you a real musician. You know what I mean? You really walking around here like you a real musician. The nerve. You need your own original music. You need your own original style. You don't need to follow anything that's going on out here because, to be honest with you, to be frank, if you copying something that's on the radio, you already like 6 months late. You already 6 months late. These songs that come out on the radio, they didn't make those yesterday. They didn't make them yesterday. They probably made those songs a year or 6 months, 6 months to a year ago, sometimes 2 years. You know what I mean? So they've already explored that style. It's not new anymore. It's not new. Johnson, you did what? You mimicked an artist's sound. Explain that a little bit. What did you do? I'm trying to do this. I don't want to make the wrong next move. Paul Johnson, that's definitely respectable, bro. I definitely understand that. I definitely understand that. You know what I mean? We in the era, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. It's okay to make mistakes. You know, it's okay to make mistakes. But when you don't call yourself on them, I'm glad you have the courage to do so. It takes a lot of courage for an individual to call themselves on their mistakes. That's why some people keep on making them, because they don't ever want to talk to themselves. They don't ever want to tell themselves, yo, I made a mistake. How can I fix it? You know what I mean? We just cover it up. I'm going to keep on doing it and expect something different. You go insane. You go insane. Always call yourself on your mistakes. You know what I mean? Got in the game. My intentions are for the fam. Much money. YouTube, 8 risk. Do I have what it takes? Send me a link, bro. Send me a link. You know what I mean? I'm always willing to check out an artist and see what they got going on. Mind you, I apologize in advance if I'm abrupt or if I'm very stern about my response or my evaluation. You know what I mean? But I have to be, because at this point, you know, my work is so busy. I can't really dedicate a bunch of time to listening to. If it's I'm gonna put it like this: if it's a quality recording, you'll get that whole playthrough from me. But if I hear right off the bat that the quality ain't up to par or something ain't right, then I gotta approach it. I gotta address it, and the only thing that you can do is work on it, try to fix it, and then we can go back to it. But you know what I mean? Like, I apologize in advance if my response is abrupt and straight to the point. You know what I mean? But you know, that's how it should be anyway. Like, we need not beat around the bush. I feel like when I first started this live chat like 3 years ago, I used to beat around the bush. I didn't want to come out and say that an artist wasn't ready, or their sound just wasn't up to par, or you trying to copy this artist. I didn't used to say things like this because, of course, you don't want to lose business or you don't want to lose face. I don't care no more, bro. I don't care. I don't care, because we tried it your way. You know what I mean? We tried it the independent artist way. We tried it your way to let you do whatever you want to do, put out all these singles, all this music, you know what I mean? Put out all these videos, put all this money out, blow all this money, and you still ain't got nowhere. So we got to try it my way now. We got to try it my way now. You feel me? We got to try it my way now. Or we got to try the industry way, the professional way. That's how we got to go about it. We tried it your way. We tried it the independent artist way. You put how many, if you think about it to yourself, how many videos have I put out? How many studio sessions have I had? How much money have I put into my career in the past 5 years? It's too much. It's too much to be at square one still. It's too much. So we got to change something. Something got to give. Something got to give. And we starting here. You know what I mean? We starting here today with your originality. We starting with your originality. Have you ever noticed? Yeah, I went in, man. I went in, bro. You know what I mean? Pain, I went in, bro. I had no choice, man. I had no choice. I got to, you know what I mean? Because I'm passionate about this. I mean, I would take it a step further than just passionate. I am well-rounded about this. You know what I mean? I'm well-rounded. I've done the research out. You know what I mean? I'm in the field just as much as you guys are. I'm testing things. I'm trying new things out. You know what I mean? I fail and I get back up again too. But, you know what I mean? I'm making some kind of progress with it. I'm making some kind of progress, so I must know something. You know what I mean? I'm making some kind of progress, so I must know something. Not just as a producer, but as an artist too. I'm doing a bit of testing with artists that I'm working with to try to be able to give you guys better information as well. If I play ball, I'll be good. Oh man, I mean, Johnson, you know, I'm gonna put it like this, bro. What's your passion? Oh, what do you love to do? If you love to do music, then go for it, bro. You'll be good in music as well. If you love music, don't say don't mention ball. You can play ball still, but you know, nothing's going to change the fact that you are where you are right this very moment. You are where you are, and you have to make the best of it, regardless of the situation. If the situation is as worse as everybody, as some individuals say, regardless, you still got to get out of it. You know what I mean? You still got to push. So you still have options. You can still play ball, or you can still go hard on ball, but you in this live chat for music, and I'm going to show you how to get it with music. You know what I mean? I'm going to motivate you to get it with your music, because that's what we do here. You know what I mean? Let's get it. Oh, yeah, Paul. Yeah, let's get it, man. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. For anybody who doesn't know, we do this every Sunday at 6 p.m. Every Sunday, we get on live, and I show you guys how to push your music and how to build stable music careers as independent artists. Not because I think it can happen, because I know it can. You know what I mean? I know it can happen for you. You just have to be dedicated, bro. It sounds so cliche. I used to say the same thing. Whenever somebody would ask me or tell me, all you got to do is stay committed, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear the silver bullet. What's going to make me successful tomorrow? There is no answer for that. Nothing's going to make you successful overnight. You know what I mean? So when people are telling you to push and keep pushing, maybe it's not as much BS as you think. Of course, you got to learn some stuff. Like, you have to learn some principles and some actual strategies. But once you do, you just keep on applying them. You know, you keep on applying them. What was I about to say? Yeah. Have you ever noticed this? Have you ever noticed that no matter what time of music you were in, there was always a song that became a hit single, but not because it was common or not because it was similar to everything else. It always stood apart. You know what I mean? It always stood apart from whatever was going on. Let me see. Let me see. Where can we start? We can start as early as I can remember. We can start with the Carter 2, Fireman. Anybody remember when that dropped? I know a lot of you guys are not shy, but press 1 if you remember when Fireman dropped and when it was like the #1 single for for a long period of time. Press 1 if you remember that. Press 1 if you remember when Lil Wayne Fireman dropped. It was different from everything else that was out. It was so different from everything else that was out. Press 1 if you remember when Fireman first dropped. Greedy said, yeah, you remember. You remember. I know you do, bro. I know you remember. Everybody remembers that. Everybody remembers when Fireman dropped. Trimson remembers. You know what I mean? Payne remembers. Everybody, you have to remember that because it was just so unorthodox. Everybody was doing, I won't say it was more of a Southern thing going on at the time, like heavily Southern, but it was just qualified as something different. It just qualified as something. It hit different. It hit different. You know what I mean? Moving on a little bit forward. When Jewelry by Gucci Mane, or that whole mixtape. That whole mixtape. It was different, but when it dropped, it took the world by storm. You know what I mean? Trap music was not heavily accepted, or that particular kind of trap music. It was very different. Some people looked at it as disgusting, or you know what I mean, just ungraceful. But over time, it became something new, and it became a hit. It became a hit. You know what I mean? Now, moving on from that, now we move to an era where everybody is strictly trap. Everybody's doing strictly trap music, right? But then what happened? Racks on Racks dropped. Now press 1 if you remember Racks on Racks. Now press 2. Press 2 if you remember Racks on Racks, because that was like my favorite song back then. Fireman. Yeah, you know what I mean? You remember that? You remember that? I love that joint, bro. I love that joint. You know what I mean? Press 2 if you remember when Racks on Racks dropped. Now, Racks on Racks was absolute. It was a blockbuster. You know what I mean? Racks on Racks was a blockbuster. That was a single that took the world by storm. You know what I mean? When I listen back to it now, it sounds so very simple. But at the time, nobody was doing that, bro. Nobody was doing that. T-Pain was the only one who was really doing the auto-tune. T-Pain was the only one doing it. You had to pay him for the feature. You feel me? And I'm not saying that people weren't doing their own auto-tune before then, but in that manner, in that manner, it was different. Nobody was doing it like that. Racks on Racks, it was so catchy, you had no choice but to love it. But it was different from everything else that was on the radio at that time. It was different from everything else. You know what I mean? BMF, Rick Ross, the song that put him back on the map. The record that put him back on the map, it was different from everything else. Are you guys, are you understanding what I'm telling you guys? Are you understanding what I'm telling you? That's how many songs is that already? Fireman, Change the Game. The trap movement, Zaytoven trap, Gucci Man trap movement, Change the Game. Racks on Racks, Change the Game. BMF, Change the Game. None of those songs or records sound like anything that was out at that time. They were one of a kind. They were one of a kind. You know what I mean? We can go as far as Kendrick too. We can go J. Cole if you like. A lot of these, you know what I mean? Yeah, definitely. But you know what? Great point. Trimson, great point. Hey, Missy Elliott, Busta Rhymes, they were always different. You know what I mean? They were always different. If we go in there, they were always different. They were always doing something different. So when you see them still doing well today, even though they're not putting out as much music, it's because they paved the way. They paved the way, and you can only get that sound from them. So their music did exceptionally well. They may never have to work again a day in their lives. You know what I mean? They may never have to work again a day in their lives because they kept it original. They kept it original. You can only get Missy Elliott music from Missy Elliott. You know what I mean? You can only get Busta Rhymes music from Busta Rhymes. Nobody, it's so different to the point where nobody has even tried to mimic it. Nobody has even ever tried to mimic it. You know what I mean? You got to wake up. You got to wake up and see what's really going on here. You got to see what's really going on here. Who else? What else is there? I know for me around those times, those were the defining moments where I've noticed. Those were the defining moments. There may be a few more. I can't think of them right now. Excuse me. But those were the defining moments where where artists were bringing something new to the table and it changed the layout. They didn't sound, it was fresh. It didn't sound like anything. It didn't sound like anything else. So from this point on, what I recommend you do with your music is look for something fresh. Don't do what's going on. Don't do what's going on, bro. DC, what's good with you, man? What's good with you, bro? Glad you can make it, man. You know what I mean? We going in today, bro. We going in today. They got me in my bag. I'm in here calling artists great value and everything, man. You know what I mean? You missed it. You missed it. Nah, but you know, don't do what's going on. Don't do what's popular. Don't do what's popular. And you know what, TK, to be honest, you know, Migos had their thing too. Actually, they're stuck longer than anything I've ever experienced before. You know what I mean? They're stuck longer than anything I've actually experienced before. I'll be honest with you. I was not a big fan of their initial singles, but the world was, and everybody started doing it. You know what I mean? Everybody started doing it. So now that we find ourselves in a climate where what used to be original, what used to be unique is now watered down, it's now played out. You know what I mean? Everybody's doing it. The question is, as an artist, how can I do something different? How can I bring something different to the game? How can I stand out? You know what I mean? Not only and the songs that we mentioned before, not only did they stand out because of the deliveries, but they also stood out because of the beats, because of the producers. Those producers, you know what I mean? That's the difference between finding you a good YouTube beat, because they telling you to your face, bro. They telling you to your face. They telling you to your face, this beat sounds like such and such type beat. You know what I mean? Such and such type beat. And when you listen to them, they have the exact same elements of those hit singles from that artist. They telling you you're not getting an original product. They're telling you that this beat sounds exactly like what's going on right now, bro. This beat sounds like exactly like what's going on right now, and you about to pay me all this money to get this beat just so you can sound like this artist, bro. I'm sorry, but that's what you about to do. You know what I mean? Scott Storch, definitely. You know what I mean? Scott Storch, definitely, most definitely. Everyone call him weird, but you know that's what makes it happen, though. That's what breaks the gates down, though. That's what breaks the gates down. When everybody considers you weird, that's when you know you're working with something. That's when you know you're working with something. Honestly, for me, all it takes for me to hear the first few seconds of a song and it sound the same, I turn it off. Exactly. You know what I mean? You got to pay attention to what's going on out here. You got to separate yourself from let me make sure my YouTube is scrolled down. Okay, yeah. You got to separate yourself from doing this as a hobby and doing this for real. When you really do this, you ain't trying to sound like nobody because you know what you're working with is better or it's more original and it's going to get farther. You know what I mean? You know what you're working with is more original and you know it's going to get further. You feel me? You have no business. You got no business telling yourself you're going to be a millionaire one day if all you doing is making knockoff music. If all you doing is making knockoff music. You know, I'm a producer telling you this. I'm a producer telling you guys this. You feel me? I'm a producer and I'm telling you guys this. Be careful. Be careful. You go to a producer that is telling you that you are getting a carbon copy of another artist's sound and you're going to pay all that money just to sound like another artist. You feel me? You're going to pay all that money to sound like another artist and not get anywhere. And not get anywhere. You feel me? Like save that shit for the birds, yo. Ow. I'm getting amped up. Save that for the birds when they tell you that it's a perfect climate for the producer. It's a perfect climate because boom, what we've learned through the years, artists is gonna buy beats that sound like their favorite rapper. Artists is definitely gonna buy beats that sound like their favorite rapper. But what artists ain't gonna do is get successful off of it. What artists ain't gonna do is become successful because it sounds like something that's already out there. You can't create the wheel twice. You can't create the wheel twice. You know what I mean? So you gotta change your mindset. You ever wonder why? You ever wonder why? Say a Kevin Gates or a Moneybagg Yo or a Future. You ever wonder why Future don't go get YouTube beats? You ever wonder why Future don't go get YouTube beats? You ever wonder why your favorite artist ain't fishing on YouTube? Yeah, you can get them for $30. Yeah, you get them $20, $10. But whatever, bro. Whatever. They sound generic. When it comes to the quality, they lose it. When it comes to the quality, you ain't getting no quality out of that. You sounding like everybody else. You have no chance. Feel what I'm saying? Now, I digress. I digress because you may actually run into a producer that can give you a unique sound. Now, me personally, if I use the type beat method, it's only because I can hear that artist on my wave. You feel me? I can hear that artist on my wave. It's not that, oh, let me go and listen to. I don't even know what these artists sound like, to be honest with you. I never heard most of their music. So that's why you'll find that if you hear a type beat from me, it sounds nothing like what they're doing. It sounds nothing like what they're doing because I don't know. I only hear the artist's voice, or I can only imagine what they would sound like on my beats. So I digress and say, if you happen to find that, you may be in a good position. But come on, bro, let's be real. Let's be real, man. You ain't gonna find too many producers that are doing that. You know what I mean? So not only do you have to watch out for your sound as as an artist, your own cadence, your own delivery, what you're doing. Not only do you watch out for that, but you also watch out for who you choose to call your producer. Make sure your producer ain't giving you no watered down great value beats. Make sure you're not getting great value beats. You know what I mean? It's a reason why you never can. Have you ever seen more than one YouTube producer as a #1 hit single on billboards? You never seen it, because people, the people who choose those songs to be on billboards, they take pride in what they do. They realize that this song is generic. It's not gonna make the cut. It's not gonna make the cut. You know what I mean? It's not gonna make the cut. So you as an artist, you got a responsibility. Am I telling you not to use YouTube beats? I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you that, but I'm telling you to grow up a little bit. You know what I mean? Grow up a little bit. When you make your music, write your music originally. Don't try to sound like anybody. If you catch yourself sounding like someone, stop it. Stop it and try something original, unique. Get your own style, and you can stick with that. Choose your beats wisely. Make sure it doesn't sound like something that's on the radio already. You know what I mean? It's so much, man. It's so much, man. Payne said he can relate to being I wouldn't even call it weird, bro. I would call it enlightened before I would call it weird. You know what I mean? I would call it enlightened, because you got to think about it, man. You got to think about it, bro. You got to think about it. In movies, wherever you go, in movies, the weird person is always the hero, right? You feel me? Not always, but 9 times out of 10, the weird person is always the hero, or they're always the one who makes a difference, right? They're always the one who makes a difference. No matter how small it may seem in the long run, you may think people ain't messing with your sound. You may think people don't really like the kind of music that you're putting out. You may think, oh, it doesn't sound like what's popular, so I won't make it. You may think, oh, I gotta do what everybody else is doing. You may think that, but the songs that you like, or those #1 hit singles, they started out in the same place. What you saying in uniqueness? Well, could you rephrase that question? I don't understand what you're trying to ask me, Payne. But I think I understand. But rephrase. Give me details on what you mean. It is a good thing when people listen to your songs and think it's a feature on there when it's really the whole. Is it a good thing? Well, I'm all about consistency. You know what I mean? I'm all about consistency. If you changing your voice up or whatnot, then I feel like as your fan base will catch on to when you're doing something different. But in the beginning, I guess you want to look for more consistency, because we got to realize it like that too. A lot of people just don't know. A lot of people don't know, and they're going to assume, and those assumptions can hurt us in the long run. You feel me? Those assumptions can hurt. They can make or break us in the long run. But to be honest with you, it's all about creativity, man. So if as long as you're being original with your craft, if it's your style to change your voice up, that might help you. If it's your style to change your voice up and it sounds completely different, that might help you, as long as it's original. That's what it's all about. As long as it's original. While everyone else is wave riding and doing the same, that leaves your lane wide open. Exactly. Which you know what, DC? That brings me to my next point. Oh my goodness. This is such a heavy point that I'm about to make. You know you don't have to do trap music, right? You don't have to do trap music, right? Some of you guys are only sounding like what's out there because you trying to do what everybody else is doing. I feel like it's a lot of artists, even in this room. Some of you guys may be supposed to be making country music right now, bro. Some of you guys are probably supposed to be making country or pop music. Look at Flo Rida, man. Look at Flo Rida. His music struggled when he was doing hip hop. You feel me? His music struggled when he was doing hip hop. But his first single, I won't say his first because I'm not really educated on his situation, but the first single that I heard from him, Low, that was sort of borderline hip hop, borderline pop. But when he went all the way to pop, he took off and never looked back. He took off and never looked back. Some of you guys probably ain't supposed to be making trap music. I feel like when we all start off, especially in this day and age, everybody feels like, oh, I got to fit in. I got to do what everybody else is doing. I got to try something. I got to try what everybody's doing because I want to be popular. But no, bro. Try a pop song or try a country song. Try something different. It's so many different genres out here. You probably holding yourself back because all you want to do is what everybody else is doing. You know what I mean? Try something different. Try something different. It won't hurt you. It won't hurt you because, you know what I mean? Quiet as kept. Is it true that if you make it in music industry, you have to be? No, bro. No. Don't ever believe that, man. You know what I mean? Don't ever believe that. By the way, I might be doing a podcast pretty soon, man. I might be doing a podcast pretty soon. I got to find some co-hosts or whatnot. I have co-hosts in mind, but I got to reach out to them. You know what I mean? But we're going to be talking about stuff like that, bro, because I feel like more than giving you guys just the business side, you also need to hear the reality too. You know what I mean? That is not true. Of course, you have your instances where people believe that heavily and it becomes their reality. You know what I mean? It becomes their reality, but that's not true. You don't have to identify with anything you don't want to in order to be successful in this industry. I'm respectful of everybody's preference because, you know what I mean? I have family members and all that I love and you're going to do what you're going to do. But you don't have to do that in order to be successful, bro. You know what I mean? Don't believe the hype. You feel me? Don't believe the hype. Yeah. That's what I mean. Low. Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. That was his first jump. So hearing that, I could already hear that he's going to be a different artist anyway. You know what I mean? Then he went on to do songs like Birthday, and he was a part of that We the Best movement. But once he distanced himself from that and went straight pop, never looked back. Never look back and probably ain't ever going to look back, bro. Probably ain't ever going to look back. You know what I mean? But it just go to, you know what I mean? Flow Rider, that's another example. Just think about the music that you heard over the years. Right about now, everything you hear is going to sound the same. But boom, out of nowhere comes that one hit or that one single that you hear and you like, yo, I love that song. I love that song. I love that song more than all of this music that I've been listening to for the past few months because it's different. It reminds me of something else. You know what I mean? It reminds me of something that's not generic. It reminds me of something fresh. It makes me believe that I can be unique myself. You know what I mean? Do something different, man. Do something. I won't even say do something different. Do you. Do you. Do you. Whatever you is, do that. Whatever you are, do that. Much love, bro. Much love. You already know, M. Brown, you already know how we do, man. You know what I mean? You already know how we do. We got to make sure this music is being put out, and we got to make sure that it's received properly. So if people think it's a different person, bro, that's cool, as long as they don't think it's another artist. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, we living in peril right now, bro. We living in peril right now. So many artists out here just lost, man. The biggest hit I produced. I could speak on certain things, bro. I can, but I have legalities behind certain things because, like I said, as a young producer, I've had the privilege of going through a few lawsuits or whatnot. You know what I mean? I had the privilege of that. So I can't speak on a lot, but I have major placements and I have certain records that I've produced and may have not gotten my credits for. You know what I mean? So I just can't speak on that without potentially harming the situation. You know what I mean? Without potentially harming the situation. And we want to move on and we want to do better. So, I wouldn't want to harm face in the industry as well, because that's a thing. You know what I mean? That's a thing. We just got to keep it. We got to keep it professional. You know what I mean? No one knows who they are because we all influenced by everyone. You know what? Here's a word of advice. Try to have as few influences as possible, man. You know what I mean? Like I said the other day, I said this last Saturday. You know what I mean? I said this last Saturday. No matter who your heroes are, or no matter who you look up to, everybody's just trying to find their way. You know what I mean? Everybody's just trying to find their way. So you don't need a whole bunch of influences. You don't need a whole bunch of role models. You don't need to be trying to listen to a whole bunch of people. All you need is 1%. You need a influence or a role model roster of 1% of the people in this world. I won't even say that. You need a role model roster of 1%. So that means like 1 or 2 people. Once you have that, yeah, you could. I mean, but you got to keep in mind that everybody's trying to find their way. So, you know, sometimes you may be looking up to the wrong person, or you may not be able to get as much insight as you think from certain people. You know what I mean? Everybody looks up to artists or rappers, but they really don't know anything, bro. Not all of them. Excuse me. Most artists really don't know anything. So you looking up to a fool, because once the label drops them, they don't know how to get their career running again. They don't know how to do the business. They don't know how to market. They don't know how to do business. All they ever learn how to do is rap. You know what I mean? So minimize the amount of influences you have in the real world. You feel what I'm saying? Minimize that, because you'll find yourself at peace. You'll find yourself at peace, and you'll find yourself only seeking guidance from yourself. You know what I mean? Which is necessary sometimes. You don't want to run into a trap. Why you think violence is so high? Because people look up to the musicians who make the violent music, and boom, they don't realize that this person ain't living that life. This person off in the mansion somewhere that they label paid for. You know what I mean? This person off in the mansion somewhere. This person off driving Lamborghinis and stuff that their label is paying for. So, you know, for you to have that person as an influence when the information that they're giving you is opposite or contrary to what they're actually living, what? What? You know what I mean? What can you say? What can you really say? Minimize your influences. Minimize the amount of people that you are directly influenced by. You know what I mean? Payne said, like, being a unique artist in reference to being an artist that changed the game. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I understand what you're saying. You know what I mean? So you can relate to being that kind of artist. You know what I mean? If you got that going for yourself, bro, keep that up. You know what I mean? Become that weird artist that's going to change the game. You feel me? So that's definitely going to happen. That's definitely going to happen if you do diligence and learn how to properly market your music, how to properly put your music out, and how to properly build a fan base. I feel like that should be everybody's main focus. TK, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? I've been through a lot. I've been through many walks of life, and I dedicate a lot of what I do to my own personal experience or watching other people's experience. You feel me? The only way to learn a lesson is not by yourself, by your own mistakes. The best way to learn is from other people's mistakes. I've been fortunate. I mean, I know it sounds bad, but I've been fortunate enough to be in situations where I've seen many people's failures, and it lets me know how to not tread those waters. It lets me know if I need to avoid certain things or how I need to practice what I preach and teach it to other people. You know what I mean? That's just facts, though. That's just facts. Sometimes life puts you in a position to where you're not supposed to hold your phone out and look at somebody else's misery or misfortune. You're supposed to learn. You're supposed to learn from it so you can know how not to make those same mistakes. So you can know how to better equip yourself to manage this world, because it's crazy. You know what I mean? The world is crazy. It definitely is. But, you know, you are being given tools every day. Every day you're getting tools that you're meant to use in order to propel yourself forward. And one of those tools, while we can't avoid it, we can't stop other people from making those mistakes that they're going to make, but we can learn from them. That's a tool. You know what I mean? That's a tool. So when you see an artist out here sounding like everybody else, or you see an artist who doesn't have their own identity, learn from that, because you see the results that they get, or you see when the wave dies down and they have no fan base or nobody even cares about their music anymore. Learn from it. Learn from it. Yo, I have to start this podcast like ASAP, man, because I'm really interested in doing so. Because if you know me from music, then that's one thing, but knowing me as a person is a whole different story. And I try to be careful with what I say to people and how I treat people. I treat everybody the same, but my own insight is a whole nother level, and I hope that it can help others to make better decisions within their lives, not only in their careers, but just all around. So I'm really looking forward to starting that podcast. Really looking forward to that. Or this is kind of like a podcast right here too, but more so of a podcast with hosts and what have you. We'll probably do that on another day. You know what I mean? We'll probably do that like on a Thursday or something. I'm working on it. I don't want to say too much, but you making real life decisions out here, man. You making real life decisions. I don't care what you think people think about your originality. I don't care if you don't feel your originality. Do it. You know what I mean? Do it. Do your originality. Be original. Be original, man. Stacks, what's going on with you, bro? Speaking of which, Stacks and King Cap definitely got some original styles. You know what I mean? Definitely have original styles. I haven't heard anybody doing it like that before. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to the internet or to the world grasping your music or you guys' music. You know what I mean? Like I love the originality that you guys bring. Looking forward to everybody seeing that. You know what I mean? Oh, with the red cup. Nah, man, this is water. This is water. You know what I mean? This is water. I'm drinking water. That's the reason why I'm lashing out on you guys this Sunday. No, I'm just playing. It's definitely water. You know what I mean? It's definitely water. The JBS Mayfield, Marvin Gaye. Yeah, I mean, even those. Let me ask you this. Can you imagine how the world felt? It goes further. It goes further than even up-to-date music. Can you imagine how the world felt when they first heard Purple Rain? I know how I felt. I heard Purple Rain for the first time this year. Like cohesively, without just hearing bits and pieces. I've heard from the beginning. I've never heard the beginning of the song until this year. I'm kind of a moron when it comes to music, life in general, honestly. But you know what I mean? That's another conversation for another time. When I first heard Purple Rain this year, all I could think about was, just imagine how the people felt back then when it first dropped on the radio. Just imagine how they felt hearing that kind of music for the first time. I'm like, it's out of this world, bro. It's out of this world. Instagram is about to go offline, but we appreciate everybody who came from Instagram. Follow my Facebook if you want to stay on for longer periods. Instagram only lets me do an hour. I'm sorry about that. I don't know if we can work on that or not, but inbox me if you want my Facebook information. I'll give you that. Follow my page, set it to see first. Love you guys. Appreciate you for coming on Instagram. You know what I mean? But can you imagine? Can you imagine how people must have felt when they first heard Purple Rain? Now, I've never heard of any of Elvis's music. Excuse me. I've never heard any of his music, but from the reaction that people got from it, can you imagine how people must have felt when they heard that for the first time? When everybody else was doing this and Elvis comes out of nowhere and does that, can you imagine how people must have felt? You know what I mean? When people first heard Michael Jackson as a single artist, as an individual artist for the first time, can you imagine how they must have felt? So it goes back further than just Fireman. It goes back further than just Gucci Man. It goes back further than Racks on Racks of BMF. It goes back further than Kendrick Lamar. Originality is what's going to make you successful, bro. Originality is what's going to make you successful. You know what I mean? Not the fact that you can sound like whoever's out there or the fact that you can spit the verse to make it sound just like their cadence or whatever. That's not going to make you successful. Originality is going to do that and nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Nothing else. I'm just going to stick to that. I'm going to stick to that. But we at the 7 minute, we at the hour mark. we're at the hour mark. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be getting up out of here. You know what I mean? We're gonna be getting up out of here. But you know, it's always a pleasure, man. It's always a pleasure building with you guys. In my ear when I was younger, I would have been there. Hey, it's never too late, Arthur. It's never too late, man. You know what I mean? Just do your due diligence and put your all into yourself. You know what I mean? Put your all into yourself and get reputable or get what's the word I'm looking for? Not work. It's similar to a work cited on a paper. I can't think of the word right now. Make sure the information that you get from people is that of quality information. You know what I mean? You can find that here. I wouldn't give you guys any information that I'm not using for myself on a daily basis. You know what I mean? I'm not an artist, but I dabble, I guess you could say, or I deal with artists every day. Like every day of my life for the past 16 years, I've dealt with artists. You know what I mean? I guess on my free days or whatnot, not, but you know, it just is what it is. I wouldn't give you any information I wouldn't give anybody else, or I wouldn't give myself as an artist if I were an artist. You know what I mean? So it's never too late, bro. Just pick up where you left off, pick your face up, keep it up, and keep on pushing. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. It ain't where you were before, or it ain't where you stopped, because you can always start back and be stronger than ever. You know what I mean? You can always start back and be stronger than ever. And I'm sticking to that. I'm sticking to that. I believe in that. I believe in that truthfully. You know what I mean? But, you know, I love you guys, man. You know what I mean? I love you guys. I love everybody on this live chat. Everybody who's yet to join the community. Everybody who will be joining the community. You know what I mean? Much love to you guys, man. Appreciate you for making this possible. You may think that I'm helping you, but in a sense, also you're helping me as well, because being somebody with information and no one to give it to, it kind of drives you insane a little bit, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? So at least I'm not as insane as most people. You know what I mean? No, I'm just messing with you guys, man. I appreciate you for making this possible, and I appreciate you guys for doing your due diligence. I think that's one of my favorite words right about now. I kind of like how it rolls off the tongue, but it's true. You know what I mean? It's true. When the world has turned their back on doing this the right way, and you guys come out of the woodwork, and you the artists that blow up, you the artists that have large fan bases, even larger than mainstream artists, that's possible too. When that happens, I'm going to look back at these live chat videos and I'm going to say, you know what? We did all right. You know what I mean? We did all right. We did all right. It meant something when we came back, every Sunday for live chat and sat on for hours at a time. It meant something. You know what I mean? It really meant something. So I look forward to seeing you guys do your thing. I look forward to seeing you guys be happy and successful, because I know you can. You know what I mean? Because I know you can. So that's your beat in the back. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's my jump. You know what I mean? It's called Pimp C too. I dedicate that to Pimp C, man. It just sounds like a Pimp C kind of thing, but you know, it's my spin, of course. You know what I mean? But hey, man, that's just where we at with it. You know what I mean? Every Sunday at 6 p.m. If you haven't already, subscribe to me on YouTube and click the bell. Follow me on Facebook, because I don't have any space for friends right now. So follow my page and set it to see first. Instagram is off right now. We don't care about Instagram though, because it only gives me an hour, and then I need more than that. You know what I mean? But whatever the case may be, man, love you guys. If you're going if you going anywhere tonight, be safe on that road. If not, also be safe. Spread positivity, man. Hey, the next person that you walk past, I want you to ask them, how are you doing? Or just say hello. We need to start doing that. We need to start doing that. Stop making everybody feel like they got to be on edge all the time, man. I've started doing it just last week. I do it anyway, but I've started doing it 10 times more, because everybody just needs that sometimes. Everybody needs love. We all live on the same planet, breathe the same air. You know what I mean? Some of us stay in the same neighborhoods. We got to spread the love, man. We got to spread the love and keep that strong. That's all we got is ourselves. You know what I mean? But let me stop being a freedom fighter or whatnot. Let me just get off of here, because I'm going to keep on talking. I'm going to keep on talking. Appreciate y'all for coming through, man. Yeah, there we go. YouTube, I definitely appreciate you guys, man. Much love to you guys. You know what I mean? Make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Like I said before, subscribe, click the bell icon to be notified every time we do a live chat, every time I put up new content, or every time that I post a new beat. You know what I mean? Which I haven't been doing lately, but you know, I'm trying to get away from the whole tight beat thing. So I'm not doing that. I'm not really doing that. But you know, we just gonna post beats, and you know what I mean? We're gonna go about it like that. We're gonna go about it like that. But I love you guys, man. Appreciate you guys for coming through.